Hi everyone, welcome to the SQL tutorial series where we will learn SQL or SQL from absolute zero to becoming a total pro. In this session, we're kicking things off with Microsoft SQL Server, which is the short of MSSQL, and I'm going to keep it super simple and beginner friendly, so by the end of this session, you'll know what SQL or SQL is and how to set up MSSQL on your computer, and I think you can write your first queries. So without wasting time, let's dive in and see what we have to do. But before diving in, let's ask ourselves a question. What is SQL? SQL or SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's the language we use to talk to databases. Think of a database as a big storage box for all kind of data. And SQL is the way we organize, retrieve, and update that data. For example, if a database is like a library, SQL is the librarian who helps us find, borrow, or return the books in that library actually. But here's another question. Why MSSQL? Why we are not going to use another databases like PostgreSQL or MySQL or any other database? Here's the reason. Microsoft SQL Server is one of the most popular database management system. It's powerful, reliable, and has loads of tools to make managing data easier. Plus, it's completely beginner friendly. So, before diving in and start working with the SQL programming language and go forward with learning SQL or SQL, let's set up our MSSQL on our computer and going forward. But there's an important tip. We're going to learn SQL, and it actually does not matter what database actually are you using. You can go forward with us with MySQL, with PostgreSQL. There's no big difference. We're going to learn the SQL programming language, not the databases. In my opinion, you can go forward with any relational database like MySQL, PostgreSQL, or SQL Server, I mean the MSSQL. There's actually no different, and you can go forward with any relational database because we're not going to learn actually a specific database. We're going to learn a programming language called SQL, which is the language we can talk or communicate with the databases. So actually there's no too much limitation or difference, and you can go forward with any relational database. So actually here you can go to the Google and search Microsoft SQL Server website, and the first website that appears is the official website of Microsoft, which we can download the latest version of the installer of the MSSQL and going forward to install this database on our computer. So here, if I scroll down, we have two options to download. The first one is the developer choice or option, and the second one is the Express. For too many reasons, we're going to go forward with the Express, and if you click on download now, the installer will be downloaded, and then if you click on the installer, you can go forward and download the database you want. I mean the MSSQL database and all the files and options that you want to set up for your computer to go forward with this database. And as you see here, SQL Server 2022 Express is a free edition. So this is one of the difference with the developer one. In the Express, we can use the free edition of SQL Server, and actually it is ideal for development and production for desktop, web, and small server applications. So these are one of the reasons that we're going to use the Express one, and we're going to download that installer for our tutorial. Actually, if you're using Mac OS or any other operating system, you can first of all install Docker, and then using Docker you can download the SQL Server image and run this database on any other operating system that does not support officially by Microsoft. For example, if you want to go forward with Mac OS, you have to download and install the Docker, and then download the SQL Server image and install it on your Docker, and then run it, and after that you can use some kind of IDEs or code editors to connect your database with your system. But here I'm going to use Data Group as the IDE to go forward learning SQL with you, and I have connected to my localhost on the master. And so without wasting time, let's go forward.